Hey, what's up, guys? It's Randall from OddsJam back with you to place some bets for this evening. Figured I'd hop on here, see if we can find any value before the evening games kick off. I mentioned earlier this morning I was able to lock in Norfolk State minus 135 on the money line. That closed 200. They are cruising to a victory. So be sure, check out that plus EV page in the morning. I know I tell a lot of you to wait until closer to game time to lock those bets in, but very tight market. It was a money line. It ended up closing minus 200. We got minus 135. I didn't have that on a stream, but it was a play that I played. We did play the Kyrie Irving over the 23.5 points. We cashed that this afternoon. We've got a couple more going on here later tonight. So we will grade our Kyrie Irving prop when we hop in here to OddsJam, and then we will see if we can find some more as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, hop over here to the OddsJam page, hop into the bet tracker. We'll go ahead and grade this Kyrie Irving prop. It was a winner. So we'll go ahead and mark that as a winner. We're waiting on Kyler Murray over 39.5. Still good value there. Some good value still on Wyoming, Nevada, minus 110. So again, you can see these bet amounts are much smaller than what you may typically see Alex betting. But my point in doing this is to show you that this profit can still go up. I started this on, I believe it was Saturday morning with the smaller bet amounts. Or actually, I guess it was Friday night. And, we're $53 profit. We've got some bets still pending later on this evening, but just trying to show you that even if you are a smaller bettor, you can make money using OddsJam. So click over here into the positive EV page. We will see, wow, Prairie View plus 160 on Caesars, 30% expected value. I wonder if that is actually a line. If that is, I would encourage you, if you have Caesars, hop on there and bet that. Spell it right. Let's see if that's correct. Wow, yeah, Prairie View plus 160. Looks like Pinnacle has that minus 111. I use the index here on ESPN. Let's check that out. So, okay, this is live. So I wonder if I'm not sure what's going on there. That may be a mistake. Let me see if that game's actually underway. Check it here on my phone real quick. Oh, and okay, that game actually is underway. So it looks like Caesars, I'm not sure. That must be an error. Prairie View's up 3 right now. So I would say if you bet that, that's going to be void. That's definitely not accurate. We are still pulling it from Caesars. Caesars had the wrong start time. So ignore that one. If you place that bet, they're definitely going to void that. Thought that was a little too good to be true, but definitely worth looking into. Calgary and Florida. So some of these games are tomorrow. Don't really like to bet that far in advance, at least when it comes to hockey. You never know who the goaltenders are going to be. That's usually released on the day of the game. Just kind of continuing to scroll here, see if we can find something to bet tonight. Blazers Magic under 112 in the first half. Looks like a 15-cent difference here in the market width. A little bit smaller of a market. It is first half, so it may not be as efficient as, say, a main line, but we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at this one a little bit more in depth. This is always something you can do. Compare the first half totals and just kind of see. So it looks like we're 112. It looks like you can get 111 on Caesars. The under 112 is minus 123. Most of these other books, well, I guess most of them. So Caesars has 111. Barstool has 112. So the consensus here, I'm going to go ahead and take a look. I want to see just a little bit more here. See what kind of the consensus is across more than just the books that I have in Illinois. Something that you're able to do with OddsJam. So you can see, I guess, okay, the consensus pretty well is 112 is the line, the outlier being Caesars at 111 here, 112. So a little bit of value, minus 114 on some of these other books, minus 123 on Pinnacle. I'm going to go ahead and pass on that particular play. In this instance, go ahead and switch here to New Jersey. Again, these live odds, you're probably seeing these. You might be wondering what those are. You can purchase these for $9 a day. Mentioned it before. I like to bet the NBA, try to catch some middles. So here's definitely a play under 218.5. If you can try to snag that, you've got to be very, very quick on the live odds. It can be very stressful, but if you can snag under 218 and maybe here in 15 or 20 minutes, snag 205 on the over, got a nice little 13-point window where you could potentially middle that game. So let me go ahead and turn these live bets off. Just want to look here a little bit more. Unfortunately, I don't have access to these books here in Illinois, so I'm not able to bet them. But nonetheless, if you're here for some plays for this evening, hopefully I can give you some that are at least valuable, and you can decide whether or not you want to bet those. It looks like Sacred Heart, Central Connecticut, under 141.5. We've got a 24-cent difference here in the market with definitely some value on Fox Bet. If you're interested in that, getting almost 5.5% of expected value, definitely some value there. Jets -1 looks like a 40-cent difference here in the market with, so I'd probably steer clear on that one. Idaho State and Weber State. It looks like, again, this is a very, very wide market. So, I mean, you're talking 74 cents difference. This would be one that I would stay away from. The value is on Idaho State, but this market is just a little bit wider than what I would like to see. So Central Connecticut, we've seen that one already. Here's one for you. If you can get this one in, Spurs Suns over 227. Looks like a great plus EV bet. 14-cent difference, -110 on WinBet. If you can get that in, we can just see. I'm not sure. WinBet. I'll see if it's moved yet. If you can get this bet in, Spurs over 227, I would definitely, if I could bet that, I definitely would. Let's see here, Spurs. So yeah, 227, it's still there. So if you can get that on WinBet, that is a great bet. Very tight market. We can take a look. We can just kind of see what the other books have in regards to the total. I'm assuming WinBet is definitely the outlier, and it is. It looks like the consensus on this line is 228.5. So you're getting it at 227. All other books, -127, -125 on DraftKings, -117 at Circa. It looks like Bookmaker sets this at 228. Looks like Bet Online sets it at 228.5. Ton of value here on the Spurs and the Suns over 227. We'll go ahead and refresh this just to see if it's still available. If you're just tuning in, still there. Over 227. If you can make that bet, definitely one worth locking in. Hop back over here to the plus EV page. We'll see if there's anything else. Go ahead and turn the live odds off. Fairleigh Dickinson and Wagner. Looks like some value here on Wagner, -17.5, 19-cent difference in the market with. Close to 6% of expected value. Smaller market game. What I like to do on these smaller market games is take a look and see just kind of what ESPN has to say about this game. ESPN's obviously not the end-all be-all, and the plus EV page is definitely not the Bible, but I do like looking at this. Wagner -21 is what ESPN predicts this game, so 17.5 is what you can get. If I were able to bet this, I'd definitely be putting a little wager here on Wagner -17.5 on Fox Bet, or -17 on the score. 23-cent difference here in the market with, so that's still still in range. You can get 16.5 here, 27-cent difference. You're getting a little bit less expected value, but a value play nonetheless. Spurs Suns, we just talked about this one on WinBet, 227. So that one is definitely a solid play. I saw the Bills here. What do we have? Bills Chiefs, first half point spread. This one's pretty interesting. You've got a 27-cent difference here in the market width, but this line, I believe, is Chiefs -2 or 2.5 for the game. So very interesting to see that it's in fact basically the same line as the full game. Normally you don't see that whenever you're betting first half totals. Very rarely do you see the first half being higher than the full game. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Buffalo -2.5. That's why. So that makes sense. Buffalo -2.5, not +2.5. Sorry about that. So little value there on Buffalo in the first half at Fox Bet, if that's something that you are interested in. Continuing to scroll, looks like quite a few of the same games here. We're getting down into a little bit lower expected value, so maybe not worth messing with. Cardinals tonight, +3.5, 19-cent difference in the market width. Now this line is Rams -4 for the game, so this is interesting. Cardinals +3.5, pretty close to the full game number. Take that for what it's worth. Looks like some value on Bookmaker on the Cardinals. Let's go ahead and look a little bit more in depth at that game. We can compare some of the books if you're looking to place a bet that's profitable on this game tonight. We'll take a look at the money line. We'll take a look at the spreads. So it looks like Pinnacle has the Rams -168. The best number you can get out there is at Bally. Bookmaker makes the Rams -182. Bookmaker's also giving you more value than any other book. Bookmaker's a pretty sharp book. With that said, just based on what I'm looking at here, I would definitely be looking at the Rams probably in this spot. It's not a plus EV bet. In comparison to Pinnacle, it looks like the best line I would be able to get would be FanDuel -176 on the money line. But let's take a look at the spread. Let's see what Bookmaker has to say about the spread. Let's see here. So Bookmaker, Rams -3.5, -105. Cardinals +3.5, -112. So not much really to say about that. Pinnacle makes, let's see here if I can find Pinnacle. Pinnacle makes Rams -3 about -118. So you can get that line. Barstool, it's pretty well the same value as what you would get on Pinnacle. So you're not getting bad value. Maybe fair value, I guess, if you would. But looking at the game, I mean, just from a money line perspective, in regards to Bookmaker, and this is the benefit of having the Platinum plan. You're able to compare Bookmaker. You're able to compare some of these other books, Superbook, that you're not able to compare with the regular plans. So looking at that game again, I noticed Bet Online was -1. What were they? -170. So they're actually kind of in range here with Bally, but I don't know what you make of Bet Online. They do oftentimes put their lines out before any other book. So just worth noting, if you're looking to make a bet on this game tonight, Bookmaker very, very high on the Rams for whatever that's worth. Go ahead and hop back over here to Illinois. See if there's anything popped up. We've got some live bets. I'll turn those off. But yeah, this game here is definitely underway. Caesars has dropped the ball on this one. I'm not sure what's going on here. Definitely, sorry about that. Definitely Definitely not right. Pinnacle says minus 159 and you're getting plus 160. So that game is already underway. Error on Caesar's end. Let's go ahead and turn player props on. We'll see if we can find a player prop here that we want to bet. Do a little comparison with some of the player props as far as that goes. We've already bet Kyler Murray over 39.5 yards. So we'll just take a look here on some of these other player props. Caesars, don't have access to Caesars here in Illinois. I do have, it's just not the same one, so I don't mess with it. Dwight Powell points. Jimmy Butler threes. Looks like the value's on the over there. Blocks, Caesars trying to find something here with DraftKings. Derek White under a half a block. Looks like there's some value. 32-cent difference in the market with there. Max Struss under 1.5 assists. Minus 164 to minus 125. 40-cent difference in the market with. But what we can do is we can take a look at this market and we can kind of see where the number falls. So DraftKings is definitely the outlier. Caesars has it minus 145. Pinnacle has it minus 164. Go ahead and switch here to California just so we can see some other books just to kind of compare if they have any odds on this particular player prop. So Struss under 1.5. So minus 130 on BetMGM, minus 130 Borgata, same thing. Fox Bet minus 133, minus 164, minus 130. So maybe this is a profitable bet. Let's see if we can find it here. So under 1.5 assists. Again, something else you can do is just take a look at his stats. We can go here and kind of see what he's done historically. Again, not something that you have to do every single time, but you can see here he's had 1 assist in each of his last 3 games. Looks like he had 5 against the Blazers. He's averaging 1.2 per game. So, I mean, 1.5 assists definitely has some value in comparison to the other books. It looks like we're about 30 minutes from game time. So let's go ahead and we'll bet that one. I kind of like what I see in that particular play as far as what the other books have in regards to his assist total and how they are pricing it. So Struss under 1.5 minus 125. Was that the correct line? Just want to double check. It is the correct line. So again, betting smaller amounts to show you that you can make money. So we'll place that under 1.5 assists, 15 to win 12. We'll go ahead and add that to our bet tracker. I'll hop back over here. To another state. New Jersey, again, for those of you that are with me, in a state that has more sports books than I do. So we'll just kind of look through here, see if we see any other player props. It looks like Jay Crowder under 9.5 points has some value, 8%. So if we click into that, we can see what these other books are pricing Jay Crowder at. Again, this is, I mean, I can't stress this enough. This is how important OddsJam is, and just being able to compare all of this side by side. I mean, you can see what each book has, and you can kind of determine is there value, is there not. So I mean, under 9.5 plus 115 on points, but I mean, this is the obvious outlier. I mean, everywhere else is minus 115, minus 130, minus 105, minus 113. I mean, very obvious that this is definitely the right side just based on the market. So if you can snag Jay Crowder under 9.5 points, I need to actually get my points bet with some money back in it. Don't have any in there right now to be able to bet that, but that's definitely Jay Crowder under 9.5 points. Definitely some value there for sure. 8% expected value. Rudy Gobert over 14.5 rebounds. We've got a 24-cent difference here in the market with 7% expected value. We can just take a look here and compare what Rudy Gobert has. So plus 110 on Barstool, everywhere else minus 110, minus 117. So, I mean, it's not really overwhelming. It looks like most of these books are shaded to the under. Pinnacle has it minus 117, minus 107. So I'm going to pass on that one for the time being. Derek White over 3.5 rebounds. Looks like the value here is on the under 3.5. Again, we'll click in here. We'll take a look. I know you guys love player props, or some of you do, and I do enjoy betting them as well. Just like to really find an edge whenever I'm looking to bet those. So under 3.5 plus 120. You can see other books plus 105, minus 114 on FanDuel, minus 106 on Pinnacle. So the under 3.5 has a little bit of value here at plus 120. It's definitely juiced to the over at these other books, but in regards to Pinnacle, the value is definitely there in that sense. So we'll keep scrolling through here, see if we can find anything for tonight. Hold on just a second. Yeah, someone's asking me on Twitter about this Prairie View game. Yeah, guys, this is an error on Caesar's side. I mentioned this earlier. Okay, they've pulled it now. So this was an error. This should disappear off of the Plus EV page at some point in the near future, because Caesar's had the start time wrong on this game. So let's see here. Continuing to scroll, looking for some value in player props or even point spreads. I'm not really seeing anything just as I kind of go through here. OG Anunoby looks like 32-cent difference in the market with over under 4.5 rebounds. So check this one out. We'll see what we've got here with him. Over 4.5 rebounds. So it looks like, I mean, minus 105, minus 131. It looks like books are all kind of in line here. Pinnacle has it minus 131. So it's not a huge outlier like we saw with Max Struss. So going to go ahead and pass on that. I'm going to hop back over here to Illinois, get this stream wrapped up. I'm going to go ahead and turn the player props off, just see if anything new popped up. And if not, probably going to call it a night, head upstairs and check out the Cardinals-Rams game for tonight, see how that goes. Hopefully a better game than what we've had these last few in the NFL. Interesting. Everybody talked about the Dogs this past weekend, how they had covered most of the games in the wild card round. Did a video on that just about a week ago about how none of that matters. In fact, all of the favorites covered so far except for one. That doesn't mean go bet the favorite tonight. But interesting to note, these trends and these sports books and the markets, they always find a way to correct themselves, and the books get it figured out. So just something worth noting. A lot of talk this last week about the dogs in the NFL, and not one dog covered except for San Francisco, which by the way, if you faded the public in that game, you lost. So not seeing anything else here as far as Plus EV goes. Probably going to call it a night. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll be back on here tomorrow. Alex may hop on later tonight, see if there's anything out there. Most of these games took place during the day, so most of the bets were placed earlier in the day that I placed, but we'll see how the one goes that I placed tonight, and look forward to coming back with you guys tomorrow. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.